Bella Salon and Day Spa, located at 41 West Main Street in Northeast Pennsylvania, proudly supports Chautauqua Sunrise and its volunteers. More information at bellasalonanddayspa.net. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Well, here we are, folks, St. Patrick's Day, and the weather did not let us down once again. Someone was just saying last night, well, it wouldn't be St. Patrick's Day without any snow. I want to go back and strangle that person. So we want to do a shout out to the folks over at LSS and at the wine. Where'd I go? Where am I? There. Leprechauns are in the system again. At the wine cellar, we played last night and just had a lot of fun. But yeah, I left yesterday. It was in the 50s from Ripley, and then it started to rain. And on the way home, it was snowing. And this morning, we got that St. Patrick's Day snow. You know, I've given up arguing with people about snow at St. Patrick's Day because they're always right. Somehow or another, it snows. Well, anyways, I hope you have some plans for St. Patrick's Day and you're going to have some fun, carefully imbibing, hopefully some Guinness or whatever. And on that note, also, I want to remind you, because I always tell you guys where we're playing. Will and I, we're going to be at the Big Inlet Brewery tonight, brewing, I guess it's called, Big Inlet Brewing, over in Mayville, just down the road. We're going to be playing 6 to 9. And then tomorrow we'll be at the Lakewood Rod and Gun Club, if I can still stand up straight. And we're going to be playing 1 to 4 over there. So we're looking forward to seeing those folks. And then I got a solo gig, 2 solo gigs coming up. Thursday I'm going to be with the Mayville Seniors, playing some Irish music for them. And then I'm playing something I've never played before, a maple syrup party in Mayville, all Mayville this week, at the Methodist Church from 3 to 5 on Sunday. So we'll talk about that again here in a minute. But anyways, want to give a good morning to everybody, and also good afternoon to our listeners on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people in Jamestown. So glad you could join us. You got a very interesting guest here today. We'll talk about him shortly. But as you know, you can't call in, but you certainly can listen, and you can always call his office later if you have a question. So we'll talk about that. So anyways, hope you're all having a great weekend. And we did have summer, or no, I wouldn't call it summer. We had spring. We had spring and fall and winter all within, I think, 48 hours. But it's looking better. I've noticed that I saw robins for the first time yesterday, so I know they're back in town. And the forsythia bush looks like it's ready to pop. So I think we're headed in the right direction anyways. So I've got a lot of things to mention. Our very own Emerald wanted to let me know. Can I talk about this, Emerald? Yeah. Okay. She's so excited because on St. Patrick's Day, that will be tomorrow, she was officially in her forever home. his adoption, and she's grinning over there. That's Emerald Weish, part of the Weish family, and so happy anniversary. I don't think it's your birthday. Happy anniversary on your adoption. That's wonderful. So let's see what else we got going on here. There's a young fellow. I want to show you his picture. Let's pop that guy up here. I have a special birthday greetings to a young fellow, and they're going to pop his. Okay, they're looking for him. All right. Well, while they're looking for his picture, I want to do a birthday shout out to my. Okay, here he is, a very handsome young fellow. Let's bring him up. There he is. That's my 6-year-old grandson, Raleigh Hamels. He's had his birthday yesterday, and he's a little Irishman all the way through. So happy birthday, Raleigh. I hope you had a great time yesterday. And he and his big brother, they watch the show on YouTube every week. So I hope he gets a kick out of seeing himself on TV. Okay, very good. So we got a bunch of announcements and other things to get through. So I want to plow right through these. And you guys are doing a fantastic job sending me all your announcements. That's what this show is about, talking about the good stuff here in Chautauqua County. Okay, my mouth is ready. I have the papers. Here we go. We're going to Jamestown. New student orientation session at Infinity Performing Arts, one of my favorite organizations in the world. If you are interested in music, art, dance, theater, or literature, then the Infinity Center is the place for you. Join them at Infinity's next student orientation session on Thursday, March 21, and see all that Infinity has to offer. Take a guided tour, meet the Infinity staff, sign up for lessons. If you're interested, give them a call at 664-0991 to register your spot today. Okay, we got a bunch of slides, so we're going to move right along to the first one here, the Sham Rock and Roll Celebration. I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's really a cool name, Sham Rock. The Chautauqua Children's Safety Education Village is gearing up for today, March 16th, with a community-wide St. Patrick's Day party at Chautauqua Suites, just down the road, located at 215 West Lake Road here in Mayville. The Sham Rock and Roll Celebration will feature the classic rock band Reset to Vinyl. They're going to have dinner, dancing, a basket raffle, drink specials, and a whole lot more. That's a Fender Stratocaster in case anybody wants to know. Tickets are $50 per person and includes entry into their 3 big cash jackpots for $1,000, $500, $250, and $50 for every 50th ticket. So it sounds like a lot of fun. Getting a little late for tickets, but in case you're interested and you're watching right now, give them a call at 720-0564 or at the Safety Village 338-1070. This is a really special program and near and dear to my heart since I was one of the founding fathers of that Safety Village. And I know that they're going to have a lot of fun raising funds tonight. And Jessica Dayton is now the executive director, and she's doing some really good work down there. So we're going to talk more about what they do as time goes by, but check it out. Lots of things going on today. Speaking of today, Chautauqua Lake Child Care Center Scholarship Fund fundraiser is going to be held at, here we go again, 21 Bricks Winery over in Portland, which is really just on the edge of Westfield in Portland. Tickets are $20. They have the band For the People, formerly TPT. They're providing some snacks, 3 wine tastings, and an evening of entertainment prizes. And tickets will also include a chance at a great door prize. Of course, the event will benefit the scholarship program at Chautauqua Lake School. It's called the Chautauqua Lake Child Care Center. It's a non-profit organization providing care and education for young children. So lots of things going on this weekend. So if you're sitting at home saying, what are we going to do today? I've already told you about 3 or 4 things, so there's lots to do this weekend. Here's another one. My good friends over at Lakeshore Center for the Arts in Westfield, they are sponsoring 2 presentations of the Chautauqua Chamber Singers with a program called Centuries of Love Songs, directed by Rebecca Ryan, accompanist Charles Johnson, Sue Tilston, and the Bonnie Lux Fiddlers will be playing as well. And they're going to be playing today, March 16th at 4 p.m. at the First Presbyterian Church in Westfield, and tomorrow at 4 p.m. at the First Presbyterian Church in Jamestown. No admission, but a free will offering is always accepted. All right. Whew. Now, St. Patrick's Day in downtown Jamestown. Now, if you're listening right now, you'll have some time because at 10:30 today, they're going to turn the river green again, and they're going to have some little leprechaun down there running around. So they're going to have some celebrations from 10:30 to noon, and this looks like a lot of fun. So that's going on. Let's keep going here. Flavor Fling Taste of Spring. Flavor Fling Taste of Spring. That's today from 1 to 4, March 16th, at the Grape Discovery Center. Another one of my favorite places to go check out. Enjoy spring flavors from Brazil's on Main Street in Westfield at the main diner, the Wooden Spoon, Merritt Estate Winery, Sparkling Ponds Winery, 5 and 20 Brewing, live music from 2 to 4. And the funny thing is, they asked me if I would play that, and I said, I'm already played like 4 times in one day. I said, sorry. Let's see. Live music from 2 to 4. Irish Fiddle Tunes by Viol Habits. St. Patrick's Day slushies. $10 to get in, advance tickets. And I know it's getting short on time, but if you're interested, give them a call at 326-2003 and call Christina and tell her I said you to call. So that's at the Grape Discovery Center today from 1 to 4. Lots of fun down there. All right. Just a reminder that this week, ending today, is National Girl Scout Week. Okay. That used to be near and dear to your heart too, wasn't it? Yeah, once upon a time. And they've been celebrating the 107th birthday of Girl Scouts here in America. And the only thing I want to tell you is that Girl Scouts is a wonderful organization. I've known many fine young ladies that have gone through the program and better for it and developed their leadership skills, including my daughter. So if you're interested, sign up your young lady for Girl Scouts. And they're signing girls up for various troops and their groups there. All right. Let's see what else we got going here. Battle of the Businesses. United Way of Northern Chautauqua County invites you to the Battle of the Businesses. Are you a business, professional group, labor organization, or company in Northern Chautauqua County? I thought about us guys, but I don't think we're big enough. We're excited to announce that DK Laser will be hosting a special business battle tournament throughout the month of April to benefit the United Way of Northern Chautauqua County. Put together your team, get some practice, get ready to see who takes the trophy in a couple of short months. Register today. Hurry, space in the brackets is limited. The games begin in April. And if you're interested in this fun activity, 366-5424. I can just imagine us all ganging up on your dad, Randy Burr, all with laser tag. That'd be a lot of fun. Maybe Randy wouldn't think so. All right. The Ripley Veterans Roll of Honor fundraiser. This is just simply a mark your calendar type of thing, but they're looking for sponsors for their September 7th Lakeside Golf Course tournament, and that's coming up. And if you want to sign up or want more information, I'm just going to briefly mention this today. Give them a call at 736-3967 or my buddy Bob McIntosh at 814-440-9406. That's a mark your calendar. Okay. What?
We're not supposed to gang up on our own team.
Oh, on your team. Okay. He's defending his father there. Okay. Rolling Hills Radio with Ken Harley. All right. Episode 86. They're going to have, let's see here, Rachel Kilgore and Mustard's Retreat on Monday, March 18th. That's a couple days. Lots of music, lots of entertainment going on this weekend. Let me tell you a little bit about Rachel. Rachel is a Minnesota-born, Boston-based songwriter and performing artist whose sincere, lyric-driven work has been called both brave and humane. The 2015 Grand Prize winner of the esteemed International New Song Music Performance and Songwriting Competition and winner of the 2017 Kerrville New Folk Contest. Kilgore has been featured at New York City's Lincoln Center, at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., and at the ASCAP Music Cafe at the Sundance Film Festival. Okay, now, joyful, uplifting, intelligent, thought-provoking, insightful, original, and timeless. I thought they were writing about me, but they're not. Mustard's Retreat is Libby Glover and David, oh boy, Tamulevich. They met in 1975. Success and praise continued to follow the duo for the next 40 years. Wow. During which time they released a series of acclaimed recordings, traveled more than 1 million miles, and performed more than 6,000 shows. Libby moved back to Michigan in 2014 and found the old chemistry was still there, deepened by the years of performing stagecraft songs and the abiding friendship they all shared. Okay, and this will be the final regular season show for Rolling Hills Radio, and I'm sorry. The final regular season show will present Don Dixon, Jacobs Ferry Stragglers, and that's coming up pretty soon. So tickets are at the door, I think. Let's see. I'm looking, $15, okay? Sometimes you have to dig in these little releases. Doors open at 5:30 at Shawbucks for their happy hour, and then the show starts at 6:15, and then there's a meet and greet after the show where you can meet the performers. That's lots of fun. Okay, moving right along. Humor, laughter, and well-being. There's a program through CASIC at the Salvation Army, Main Street in Jamestown. It's called Humor, Laughter, and Wellbeing. It's presented by Jane Fisher, Tuesday, March 19th, 9 a.m. to noon, $55 registration fee. Okay, then let's do slide 21. I kind of messed this up last week. I've seen Bigfoot. Okay,
With Peter Weimer.
Pardon me?
With Peter Weimer.
With Peter Weimer, yeah. He's the creator of Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot Expo. It's going to be held March 25th from 6 to 8 p.m. and registration is required by March 21st. Now, the question I had last week was where it was going to be. And so I'm still looking for this. I think it's going to be at his at the Suites, you believe. All right. Well, let's put it this way. Give him a call at 664-9405. It sounds like a lot of fun. It's only $10 and it's $15 for couples, but they're going to have a bunch of people there that have been eyewitnesses to Bigfoot. And March 25th.
At We Want You Cottages.
At the We Want You Cottages, okay? So there you go, Bigfoot. All right. Then, let's see, March 23rd, we got our Flapjack fundraiser. And this is slide 22. There we go. Applebee's and Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation presents Short Stacks for a Tall Cause. Flapjack fundraiser and basket raffle. Proceeds benefit local schools through the Service Learning Mini Grant Program. Again, this is March 23rd, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. That's coming up next week at Applebee's on Vineyard Drive in Dunkirk. Tickets are only $6. They're going to have the basket raffle, $10 for 25 tickets. And for more information, give them a call, 366-4892. Then I mentioned annual maple sugar party that I'm going to be playing at. This is going to be held at the Mayville United Methodist Church, and it's free. Yeah. I'll be playing from 3 to 5, and I know that they really want people in the area to come by, partake of the products of sugar, maple syrup, sugar, and I guess it's a lot of fun. This is going to be my first time doing it, so I don't know. All right, keep moving along. We're wrapping up Girl Scout cookie season. We have ours at home. We've been dispersing among the family because I don't need them as much as most people do. And it's going to be wrapping up March 31st. So make sure when those girls come around, get your cookies. My favorite are the chocolate peanut butter type things. Mm-hmm. Okay. I was asked to announce this, so I'll give this a little explanation. This is a Rotary-sponsored event, and this is very special because it works on leadership for young folks. So let me read this to you. This is our next slide. Just to give you a heads up, here's the Slapshot information for 2019. It's being held May 3rd to Sunday, May 5th at the Canterbury Hills in Ancaster, Ontario. Okay, so if you know of a junior or a sophomore in high school that would benefit from a leadership training, contact your school. This is all over the county. We've got kids coming from all the Rotary areas here in Chautauqua County. And but we're especially looking for our area here. That would be the Brockton, Westfield, Ripley, Chautauqua Lake, and Sherman area. And if you know somebody that's interested, our club pays For all of this, we pay the registration, our Westfield Mayville Rotary Club, or the other clubs like in Jamestown and Faulkner and up in Dunkirk, Fredonia. And if they're interested, give Dan Smith a call at 269-9900. Kids come back from this program every year, and they have had a fabulous time, and they do great things. Okay, speaking of Rotary, my club is having a pancake breakfast also, but it's on April 6th, and it's going to be held at the Brockton Central School Cafeteria. We did this last year from 8 to 11. It's all you can eat pancakes, sausage, applesauce, coffee, tea, or grape juice. Adults are only $7. Kids ages 6 to 12 are $5. Kids under 5 are free. Tickets are now on sale, and if you are in the local area and you need tickets, you can always see Tracy Bennett, who's one of our fellow Rotarians, or give him a call, 326-3800. Okay, and the important thing is that all the proceeds go to our club's scholarship program that we give out every year to local high school graduating seniors. And I believe we give out 8 different scholarships. So a lot of stuff going on there. Okay, let's see here. Let me see else what I want to read about here. Excuse me. And then I think I'm going to stop right there with one last thing and then an announcement. Oh yes, this just came in. Dining in the Dark, a special event coming up on April 12th. Mark your calendars, with the Chautauqua Blind Association. And I understand, I've seen pictures of this event. It's a great fundraiser, and I'm going to find out more information about this on my break. I think I have somebody that can tell me more about it, and we'll let you know about that. But Dining in the Dark, April 12th, Chautauqua Blind Association. And now on a very serious note, recently I got an email, and for those of you who know that we have an underwriter with the Westfield Memorial Hospital, and we were very saddened to learn that yesterday our president, Valerie Jackson, passed away unexpectedly, and we're all very saddened. And the family and the staff, we're a family there at the hospital. We're going to pull together, and if you knew Valerie, you know how sad we are, because she was just an outstanding leader. In a very short time she was with us, and to her family we send out her condolences. And with that, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Okay, we're back, and I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming back to Chautauqua Sunrise, I say my friend, Andy Goodell, our state assemblyman for the 150th, I got that right, 150, there's no 151, is there? We're at the end of the line. 150th district over in Albany, represents us in Albany, so welcome back, Andy.
Well, thanks, Doc. It's great to be back with you.
Thank you. And you know, it was a little tricky trying to get you here. I was working with your scheduler, Dan,
Yeah.
and then Elizabeth, and
Yeah.
I was bouncing around with all different people, but we finally got it pinned down, so I'm glad you got here. Wasn't too bad coming over this morning, was it?
Not too bad.
A little bit of snow.
A little bit of snow.
It was a little slippery there. Well, anyways, I mentioned Dining in the Dark. Does that ring any bells?
Absolutely.
What can you tell us about that?
So Dining in the Dark, not surprisingly, is sponsored by the Chautauqua Blind Association, and it's an amazing event. What happens is they put on a really high-quality 3 or 4 course meal. But what's unique about it is that after you've had a cocktail hour, so you're a little bit more relaxed, you get a blindfold. You're blindfolded. You're led to...
This isn't candlelight dinner then?
Oh, no.
Okay.
You're completely blindfolded.
Oh, my gosh.
You're led to a table, and they seat you. There's one sighted guide, if you will, at each table to help you a little bit. And the sighted guide explains, where your water is so you don't tip it over and whatnot. And then they serve you this meal. And you eat the entire meal without being able to see at all.
What kind of food are we talking here?
Oh, I mean, they'll have different choices, but it's
Like
always
steak or something like that?
It can be,
You have to cut it?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes,
Yeah,
depending
yeah.
what you get. Often a soup, salad, a really fine meal. But the unique aspect is it gives you that little glimpse into what it's like to be a blind person.
Yeah.
And
Sensitivity for sure.
absolutely, and so that's so I almost said it's a real eye-opening experience, but it really
Your words,
is.
not mine.
It really is an enlightening experience, and
absolutely.
it really appreciates the incredible work the Blind Association does.
Yeah, and people always think that if someone is blind, that it's just somebody that just can't see, but there's all levels of blindness and loss of sight, and we take for granted what we use every single day. But I mean, I have to wear my glasses to read, but I think as time goes by, things are getting blurrier and blurrier. Well, think about the whole world if someone isn't seeing what we're seeing, and what the challenges are of whatever it is, just daily living skills. So that would be quite an experience, I'm sure.
Yeah, and the first time I went, they sat me next to a person who was blind. She was in her 90s, great lady. And she's relaxed and she's chatting away, and I'm worried about how much salad is ending
Pulling
up
the
in my
fork
lap.
out of your ear and food down the front of you.
But
Yeah.
they typically sell out.
Yeah.
So it is coming up in April, but they typically sell out, and the people who go there just rave about the experience.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you. And as I said, if there's any more information, send it along. We'll be happy to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so with that, that's April 12th. Andy, there's been a lot of stuff coming out of Albany lately, and your name, has always been right up there, whether you're arguing the good argument there or supporting a bill or whatever it is. And you asked me, what do we want to talk about this morning? Well, I told you the one that I wanted to start right out with, and then we can go wherever you want. How's
Sure,
that?
absolutely.
Okay, so George Burrell and I were on together not too long ago, and to me, this is sort of controversial in the sense that I know there are people in this world that are my age or whatever, older, younger, that enjoy marijuana. They probably have been sneaking it for years and trying to stay under the radar. It's been a culture of marijuana since the 60s, maybe even beforehand. I mean, they even talked about our forefathers smoking hemp and things of this nature. So, but it's becoming, to me, almost like an avalanche that's coming at us from all different angles across the United States, because various states are proposing various things. And I mentioned to you, I'm a musician, and people always think all musicians do drugs and all this stuff. I've never done a drug in my life. I drank in college, and I stopped. I don't drink to this day. I don't smoke cigarettes. So I'm really strong about living a natural, clean life. Clean as far as not putting any additives into my system than I have to. But on the other hand, if there people want to drink, they want to do whatever, that I respect that. Okay, I give them that respect. But this is bigger than just that. This is bigger than just somebody sitting in their living room having the use of marijuana. This is a financial, economical, legislative, penal, judicial. This is a huge boondoggle to me.
And it's a multi-billion-dollar business if it's opened up in New York State.
Okay.
And it might be helpful for our listeners to know that under current law, possession of small amounts of marijuana is not a crime.
It's like a traffic
It's like
ticket.
a traffic
Yeah.
violation. And so that's been the law in New York since 1974. It's 26 ounces. What is illegal is possession of a large amount of marijuana. So all the legalization bills say that you could have, a lot more, up to 2 pounds in one of the bills, which
2
is
pounds?
2 pounds, which means that you could have a knapsack full of marijuana and it would be legal. And what that's really doing is making it so you can't arrest a street dealer who's got a full knapsack full of marijuana, because it's no longer going to be illegal to possess that much.
All right, well, let me just ask right now. So let's say you got this 2 pounds of marijuana in your backpack. He sells it off, goes to his trunk, and fills up the knapsack again?
Yeah. I mean, as long as he doesn't...
It's like this never-ending knapsack of 2 pounds.
And so the rationale that's been presented is, first, marijuana is not that dangerous. Well, what the data shows, though, is that for certain people, it's very dangerous, particularly our young people.
And we've talked about that here with Kasich and others. And it's the brain development. And there's parts of the brain, and I can never remember which it is. I want to say the amygdala, but there's another part in there too, that it stymies the growth of that, and it actually retards with a small r the development of that brain, and it's forever.
Yeah, and so it's a high correlation between youth marijuana use and mental health issues, schizophrenia, paranoia, lower IQs, poor school performance. So everyone knows that's a serious issue. So the advocates say, well, we'll simply make it illegal for those under 21 to buy. They don't suggest, by the way, it would be illegal for those under 21 to possess, just to buy. Well, we all know how successful those laws are to stopping underage drinking, underage cigarette smoking. And when you look at Colorado, when they legalized marijuana, again, you couldn't buy under age 21, they went from 14th in the nation to number 1 in the nation in youth use.
Well, it's common sense.
Yeah. If you have a marijuana store at every street corner, yeah, the availability is going to go up, and street use will go up, and youth use will go up. And right now, Colorado's youth rate of marijuana is more than double New York's. So we know if we legalize it, we know there's going to be a lot more youth using it, and it's going to have a negative impact on their development.
Okay, so with alcohol today, we have law enforcement folks out on the street, in their cars, whatever, watching for folks that are under the influence. They get arrested, whatever. Alcohol destroys lives after whatever. After 3 DWIs, I guess it's a felony now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is big time.
Second DWI.
Second W? Okay. You're a lawyer. You know these better than I do. And we have this whole system to protect us from alcohol.
Yeah.
What's the system in place with the legislation to protect society with this particular item?
Well, that's a great question, because unlike alcohol, where we have very clear and easy ways to measure blood alcohol content, no corresponding system for marijuana intoxication. So if you're pulled over and they ask you to do a breath test, for example, they can tell very accurately how much alcohol is in your system.
0.8, 0.1, whatever. Yeah.
No similar system in place at all for marijuana intoxication.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, things like marijuana stay in your system for 30 days anyways.
Yeah,
so I mean, you could be stopped.
Test.
You could say, I didn't use, I could see this being a real issue in the courts. You know, saying, well, I didn't use, but the test said you did. But I mean, holy mackerel.
And so the states that have legalized it have seen a dramatic increase in serious and fatal accidents where the driver tested positive for marijuana. In Wisconsin, for example, it was a 46% increase in serious and fatal accidents involving marijuana. And so when people say, let's make it widely available for recreational use, we know that there are going to be friends and neighbors of ours, or maybe even ourselves, that are going to be killed or injured or maimed on the highways as a result of somebody else who's abusing marijuana.
Okay, so with alcohol, it always comes down to personal responsibility. So where does the adult personal responsibility come in here in this play? I mean, it's like, come on, people, you know, this is on you. It's why are you using inappropriately and that sort of thing? I mean, where does that come into all this thing?
And of course, that analysis applies to all the illegal drugs we have. I mean, heroin is illegal.
Yep.
Opioids are illegal. Yet we see people who are destroying their own lives, destroying their family's lives, even dying as a result of overabuse.
Oh, for sure.
And so part of the role of the public and part of the role of government is to minimize inappropriate use. And we do that by regulating it, which is interesting because that brings up another aspect of the marijuana discussion.
Okay.
In every other area that's licensed by the state, if you violate the law, you risk losing your license.
Correct.
In the marijuana side, It's the exact opposite. So the advocates for marijuana are focused on trying to get Black and Hispanic communities involved in cashing in, if you will, on the anticipated profitability of recreational marijuana.
Wait, slow down now. Let's get back to this. The Black and Hispanic communities are being targeted? Is that what you're saying?
No, the Black and Hispanic legislators,
Oh, legislators, I'm sorry.
right, want to make sure that their communities can cash in, if you will, on the business opportunities for recreational marijuana.
Why would they say that? Why would
Well,
they do
be
that?
part of social justice. And so they're taking the position that those who have been convicted of violating the marijuana laws in the past should have their convictions sealed
I see
or
where
ex-
we're going with that. All
or
right.
expunged
All right.
so that they can become licensed to sell it. So think about that.
Whew.
If you violate the liquor laws, you lose your license to have a bar.
Right.
If you violate the driving laws, you lose your driver's license. Here they're saying if you violate the laws prohibiting illegal sales, you can become licensed. It's completely
This is
upside
in,
down.
This is in
It's part of
proposed
the-
legislation?
It's part of the proposed legislation.
Good Lord, I didn't hear that aspect of it before.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, so people that might be listening right now are saying, look, I don't know, 5 years from now, I'm making this up now, I'm just making up the scenario, this isn't fact. But let's just say Canada, and I think it is legal in Canada.
Yeah.
You got Pennsylvania, and let's say Ohio, I don't know, Massachusetts or whoever is on the other sides, they're all legal and we're not. So then what happens? We just stay the course?
Well, and you see this on a number of different other areas, right? I mean, you saw for a while Nevada was the only one that allowed gambling. And then New Jersey allowed it, right? And then Massachusetts, and then New York.
Right.
And every time another state added gambling, all the problems with problem gambling came home to roost. So
You mean like Gamblers Anonymous? You
Yeah.
know, where they have support groups and things like that?
Exactly.
Oh my
so,
gosh.
you know, the fact that other states may be doing things that are not in their best long-term interests is not a good reason for us to jump on that bandwagon.
But where I'm going with that is that with the pressure of all that, would New York fold because of that?
Absolutely.
Thank you for that candid response.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm supporting that it should, because I don't. I really don't.
So, as you may have guessed from my comments, I'm not an advocate of increasing gambling. I'm not an advocate of increasing recreational drug use because it doesn't help families. It hurts families. It doesn't make our community safer. It makes it more dangerous. It doesn't help our youth. It hurts our youth. So I have a two-pronged strategy in Albany.
Okay.
First, obviously, I'm opposed to it and will continue to oppose it. The second strategy, which may sound a little ironic, is that I've prepared a long list of concerns that I hope the legislation, if it moves forward, addresses. Like, how do we minimize youth use? What are we doing about advertising? Are we going to restrict advertising? Are we going to prohibit products that target youth, like gummy bears?
Oh my gosh, brownies and
Or brownies,
yeah,
right. Yeah.
all
Are we
that
going to
food
require a
groups.
warning that marijuana use among youth is highly correlated with mental health issues?
Is anybody addressing this in any hearings or anything?
Some.
Okay.
Some. So I have a list that I've gotten from our county executive,
Right,
from our,
George and I shared that.
yep, from our health commissioner, from our mental health commissioner, as well as from other sources. It's a 3 or 4 page list, bullet points of things we ought to be thinking about. How do we minimize the negative impact if they go forward? So I oppose it, obviously, but if it does go forward, I'll be focusing as much energy as I can on minimizing the adverse fallout.
Okay, so, and I know the answer to this, I think, but, and I'm not being naive here, I'm really not. Push everything aside, blank piece of paper. Why do they want to legalize marijuana?
So there's
What's the bottom line, Andy?
Yeah, so there's a couple of reasons. One driver is they want money, more
They being
taxes.
who?
The advocates,
Okay.
the legislators that support it, keep pointing out that they can raise taxes on New Yorkers by $400 to $600 million. For me, that's not a great reason, because we're already the highest taxed residents in the nation. So to come to me and say, hey, we're already highest tax in the nation, let's add another tax that adds another 400, 600 million, it's not really a great benefit to me. The second reason I have concerns about that is the tax they're talking about is a regressive tax. It's not based on your income or your ability to pay. It's based on how much marijuana you use. And so it's a regressive tax. So I'm not in support of it.
Bottom line is they think they're going to make money on this.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is my thinking. So if we use the alcohol situation, and again, people want to drink, I have no problem with that. I have, my particular feelings on that based on my own experience, and that's me. But we see, or let's just take tobacco, either one. We have tobacco cessation products. We have support groups for alcoholism. We have medical bills that are in the bazillions of dollars because people have lung disease. They have liver sclerosis. They heart conditions because of alcohol and tobacco. Okay, so we get the $460 million on the front end, but we're paying a whole lot more at the other end. Am I wrong on this? Or?
No, you're absolutely right. And the interesting aspect on that is the states that have moved forward, the data we're getting out of Colorado and California and some of the other states that have moved forward, it all indicates that the cost to society and the cost for law enforcement and the response and the additional problems has exceeded the revenue.
Right.
But there's a new twist on that as well. A lot of those costs fall on local government, your local police department.
We were talking about that, George and I.
Right. But the state legislators want the state to take most of the money. So you got the state taking the tax revenue and leaving it up to the local governments to absorb the costs.
Let's expand on that, what the local cost would be. Law enforcement and your drug treatment.
Yeah.
And when George Burrell and I were talking, I don't mean to keep quoting him, but it's pertinent here. He pointed out to me, I think there's only 4 law enforcement agents in Chautauqua County that are certified or something along these lines that can test somebody for marijuana use.
Right. So you got all that training.
So we only have 135,000 people here with the potential of whatever, and where's that training? Where's that money? And none of that's in the legislation, I'm assuming.
Just last night,
An unfunded mandate.
Yeah. Just last night, I was discussing it some with one of our local mayors, and he said it's going to cost our city a lot of money.
Okay.
And we're not in the pipeline to get any of the tax revenue to offset those costs.
So there again, going back to what we just said, the money is all coming on the front end, but we're paying at the other end.
Right.
And I think that's a real imbalance. I think
Now,
this is very interesting.
Now, what you're seeing in a big picture issue, if I can step back a little bit. So for years, as you know, the Senate was controlled by Republicans and the Assembly was controlled by Democrats.
Right.
And so what had happened for years and years and years is that the Senate minority, Democrats, were promising everything to everybody, knowing that the Senate Republicans would block it.
Okay.
And then they used the fact that the Senate Republicans were blocking all these promised goodies to attack the Senate politically, right? And it was a great strategy. You know, you could
We'd
promise
love
everything.
to get you this, but we just can't deliver.
Exactly. So then last year,
Ba-bing.
ba-bing, all of a sudden, the Democrat
The chickens
senators,
have come to roost. Hey, you're in.
they're now in. And so now you have the Democrats in control of all 3, the Assembly, the Senate, and the governors. And all those organizations that have been promised so much for so long have all come home and said, hey, you always blamed the Republicans. Now you're in charge. We expect you to deliver.
Oh, boy.
And we helped elect you because you promised you would deliver. This is creating incredible tension within the Democrat caucus itself and between the Democrat legislators and the governor. And so in the one House budget bill that we saw in the Assembly and in the Senate, they're struggling to try to appease everyone they promised so much to without bankrupting the state.
Well, we're really seeing it at the national level in Washington.
Sure.
The reverse of this, right?
Absolutely. You saw the reverse of this because the Republicans
they
earlier,
promised, and got beat up, and now.
Right. I mean, they promised, we'll take care of Obamacare, just elect us, and then they were in power.
Now what are we going to do?
Well, what are we going to do? So the one House budget that passed the Assembly, I didn't support it because of this, raised taxes on New Yorkers, $1.6 billion this year, $5.7 billion next year.
Oh boy.
And that's without $500 million to $750 million in Medicaid or marijuana revenue. So you're seeing that the majorities like struggling with how are we going to raise $6, $7, $8 billion to appease everyone that we promised so much. Wow. Now, I will share with you that back in the 60s, my uncle, who was a congressman, had the opportunity to listen firsthand to President Kennedy's inaugural address.
Wow.
And President Kennedy was a very smart guy. And I actually have a copy of the newsletter from my uncle from the 1960s, where he said, President Kennedy came out with that fabulous line, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Yeah.
And my uncle observed, what a great way to start your administration after promising so much to so many. Let's restructure the discussion.
Flip it right around.
And that's what's happening in Albany, and they're struggling to do it. And you know, the moderate Democrats, I'm friends with a lot of them. They're like, you know, how do we balance this?
Yeah. You know, speaking of Albany, we were talking about Kathy, and someone here in the crew asked you if you wanted to make a comment. So
yeah, well, Senator Young has done a phenomenal job for Chautauqua County, and this is a person who devoted her every waking moment. Really,
I can't argue. I've seen she was everywhere.
She was everywhere. Major player in Albany as well. I mean, for her to put in 16 to 18 hours a day was standard. And a great partner, because of course we share a 5.5-hour drive each way. And so it's not at all unusual that I would be talking to her for hours on the drive to or from Albany, reviewing
notes.
And what a great partner that we had in the Senate. Of course, you know, with the shifting in the other guard, she went from being chairman of the Finance Committee to being a minority member. And it was just, you know, I knew she was very frustrated with the direction the state is going, the new direction the state's going. So, huge loss for our area, someone that was fully committed. Now, we have some great people who are running for her seat, including County Executive George Borrello. We have a smart, young gentleman on the Democrat side, I understand, that may be running. I think he's currently a college student at Cornell, but a very sharp guy. So, but certainly huge shoes to fill.
And just for those that are listening and watching right now, Andy and I want to make a joint announcement. Neither one of us are running for that position.
No, that's for sure. And not surprisingly, you know, within hours of her announcement, I was getting calls asking me to run.
Oh, that would certainly make sense. Well, and really, she had your old job.
Absolutely, she was an assemblyman before, and I decided that I mean, I discussed it with my wife and friends and whatnot, but I really came to the conclusion I would be better able to serve Chautauqua County where I am because of my seniority, and I'm currently the floor leader. So I coordinate all the debate. It's a huge amount of work because we review every single bill. But that's intellectually challenging. It's rewarding. I've developed great relationships on both sides of the aisle. So last year, for example, 3 bills that passed were rewritten at my suggestion.
Good.
you know, I liked their concept, but the language had problems. I'm working on 2 bills already this year, and a third, actually 3 bills this year.
Keeping busy.
And the Democrat sponsors know that I'm supporting what they're trying to accomplish.
Right.
And sometimes it's a matter of wording or narrowing the
Wordsmithing
bill.
things a little
Yeah.
bit.
And they know if they amend their bill, it's not likely I'll debate it.
Okay, hold that thought. We have a phone call. Okay.
Great.
Good morning, caller.
Well, top of the morning to you.
Well, top of the morning to you.
you. Good morning, Doc, and good morning, Andy.
Good morning.
This is Linda. It's so great to see you on the show this morning.
Great.
And thank you for everything that you do for us in Albany. And also thank you for all the support that you give to the Office for the Aging and to the Senior Employment Program.
Well, you know, Linda, how important those programs are.
And it means so much to them. You know, Doc, whenever I have any kind of gathering or a computer training graduation, Andy always comes.
Yeah, I always see his picture in the paper.
Well,
he's everywhere.
I'm especially supportive of senior citizen programs because I'm getting closer and closer to appreciating their services.
Linda always gives me. I always ask her, how old is the senior? I go, we're candidates.
So I just wanted to say that I do have job orders. I have a lot of job orders.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I
have job orders in the hotel-motel industry and clerical positions, and these are jobs that are unsubsidized. They're off our program, so they should come to me if they're interested in our senior employment program, and we can transition them right into a job that they want, or something in the community. So it's a great time to be out there looking for work. A job keeps a person young and healthy.
Linda, I always ask you a little bit more about the positions that you mentioned. Okay, clerical we've talked about, but what would be positions in the hotel motel business?
I have position, one particular position, more than one, for maids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hotel maids.
All right. So, and if they want to apply, let's get that phone
and
number.
Home health, and I have more than one clerical position.
Okay. So,
and these are off our senior employment program. Some of the clerical positions are with our senior employment, but some are off. So,
okay. And if they want to contact you,
they definitely should.
The number is?
The number is 753-4471 in Mayville, and also there are other services with the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging.
Absolutely. And you can always go to their Facebook page or just give them a call. And I know that people have used your services, think you are fabulous. So I do anything for St. Patty's Day?
Oh, well, I always do something for St. Patty's Day because, of course, before I was married, my name is O'Connor, Linda O'Connor.
Linda O'Connor.
Yes.
I'm from
I have to do something. I always have to have corned beef and cabbage and carrots and potatoes. And should I say Guinness?
Yeah. Well, I'm from the Doherty clan in Ireland. So, all right.
Have you been to Ireland, Doc?
Yes, I have.
I have too. Andy, have you been to Ireland?
No, I look forward to going there.
Well, they love Americans. They just love Americans.
Yeah, it's a great country.
Yeah, it is.
All right, well, thanks for calling, and you enjoy your Guinness.
Okay, you too.
Throw back a pint.
Have a great weekend.
All right, thanks. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay, folks, you're watching Chautauqua Sunrise, and we still have about 5 minutes. And I neglected to mention, if you do want to give a call and ask a question to myself or Andy, it's at 753-5225. And always remember, you can Twitter us, email us later on if you have questions. So, Andy, we only got about 5 minutes yet. We've already chewed up a whole bunch on marijuana and stuff. But what do you want to talk about? What's burning in your mind that you want to share?
All that time went up in smoke?
Oh.
Okay.
The audience loved that one.
The peanut
audience
gallery.
of 2.
Well, it's a very interesting time in Albany, as you know. We kicked off the year in an unusual way with a lot of high-profile bills.
Okay.
We had the Reproductive Health Act,
I remember that one.
which expanded late-term abortions across the state. It was very controversial. The Reproductive Health Act eliminated the requirement that abortion be done by a physician or in a hospital. it opened up for more abortions after the baby would be viable in the womb. It eliminated all the criminal protections for an unborn child, which means that if a pregnant woman were attacked just before she was ready to deliver and her baby was killed, no longer would there be any criminal penalty for the killing of her baby.
I want to go back, if I may, on the second last point about late-term pregnancy abortions.
These are abortions that would occur in the last couple of months.
Okay, and
where the baby could be delivered.
Being a dad of 4 and grandpa, as you have already seen, I dug a little deeper into the reading of that, and I talked to some folks. Now, my understanding is that this is, now, don't quote me, but what from what I saw is a very small percentage of occurrences, and that this would be in an extreme situation where the mother's health would be like she'd die.
Well,
or the baby would be being born and died.
Sure. So let's clarify where we were, so you can understand where that bill does. So under the old law, you could have an abortion during the last couple months if the mother's life was at risk, or if the baby was not going to be viable. In other words, the baby had severe birth defects, or if you had a stillborn.
Okay.
And so that was the existing law.
So what's
and so the new law added the right for a woman to have an abortion in the last few months if her health was at risk. And the problem is the law didn't put any restrictions on what was meant by health.
Oh, that's the kicker.
That's the kicker. So it didn't say serious health risk or abnormal health risk or anything like that. And so everyone knows that a normal pregnancy has health risks.
Absolutely.
And so without putting any qualifying language at all, it opened the door for anyone to have an abortion right up until the day the baby was born. And that was why everyone was so upset with it.
Okay, understandable. Out my way, I still see signs, if I can change the topic.
Sure, absolutely.
The SAFE Act, gun control. Now, Kathy had told me that certain things have been amended in that. Where does it stand? Because I know people are still up in arms. There's mine. Thank you. They like mine just as well. All right, so where's it at? We still have about a minute and a half.
Right, so the SAFE Act, you may recall, was enacted after the massacre in Sandy Hook.
Yes.
And its focus was restricting the use of guns. There were semi-automatic rifles, primarily semi-automatic rifles, but also semi-automatic handguns. And it prohibited a number of what were mostly cosmetic changes, like a handle to hold it, or a flash suppressor, or an adjustable stock, or a hole in the stock, none of which really affected the gun, but made the gun look more dangerous. When they first passed it, they inadvertently actually outlawed a standard police gun because they restricted
They rushed into it.
Yeah, and so we had to go back and amend it so that our police officers could continue to lawfully carry guns.
That's a good thing.
The original bill required a detailed database of anyone who had a semi-automatic rifle who was registering. There was a tremendous pushback on that, and they backed down on that. It's still in the books, but they haven't been enforcing it. The amazing thing is that many of my New York City colleagues reported that was the most significant accomplishment that year, even though there aren't any rifle murders in New York City.
No.
It's just too hard to get on a subway or catch a cab with a rifle. And the year the SAFE Act passed, there were only 4 murders using a rifle statewide. So unfortunately, the bill was more about cosmetics than about
a knee-jerk reaction.
reality. So the Assembly now and the Senate both control out of New York City. The likelihood there's going to be any significant change is very little on the SAFE Act.
All right. Well, we'll stay tuned on that. Andy Goodell's been our guest today. Andy, you got to come back. We didn't get to half what we were going to talk about. Well, anyways, I hope you all have a happy St. Patrick's Day. Andy, thanks for joining us today. And you always can contact Andy's office. He's really easy to deal with. So we hope to see you all next week right here on Access Chautauqua. I'm Doc Hamels signing off, and we'll see you around St. Patrick's Day, hopefully, and Be careful with the weather and driving out there. Stay tuned.